Surgery is actually a trade, and what it was, I would be apprenticed to a surgeon, but it would not be my first apprenticeship, it would be my second. My first apprenticeship was chosen by my parents. I choose to become a surgeon. So that means I don't even start my second apprenticeship till after I'm 18 years of age, because that's when you finish your first apprenticeship. And the surgery apprenticeship is an 8 to 10 year apprenticeship. That's about twice as long as the regular apprenticeship. So I actually would learn about the herbs and the surgery, and while I'm doing that, I'm working on live people. When I finished my 8 to 10 year apprenticeship, my master would let me go, and he'd provide me with a initial surgery kit. If I needed to put anything else into it, I'd have to spend my own money to do that. Now, the difference between a surgeon and a doctor in the 18th century. Doctors went to a college for 2 to 4 years up in New York City or Philadelphia, and they worked on cadavers. Surgeons actually worked on live people. Who would you rather have work on you? Somebody worked on cadavers or somebody worked on live people? Yeah, I agree, live people. So actually the surgeons were not liked by the doctors because they considered us low because it's a trade. It's not a learned academic coursing, which is stupid because we had better survival rate on the surgery table. Our survival rate was 80 to 85%, where the doctors were 70 to 75%. Which makes a big difference, actually. So, I forgot what I was going to say beyond that. Oh well, sorry. But again, initial toolkit basically would be an amputation kit, which would include the saw, a couple of scalpels, amputation blade, a reflex hammer, maybe a forceps or two. Now this would I'd have to purchase myself. This I'd have to purchase myself. Those are big ticket items. Okay, this is a bullet puller, and that's a trepanning tool for concussions. Probes, he provide me a few probes. Provide me a small amount of leather so that I can make your anesthesia for surgery. This is called a bite, because we use your internal pain as our internal. We use your pain as our internal vision, because we had no way of seeing inside the body unless we physically cut you open. And then the herbs were used typically prior to any sort of surgery being done to try to cure what's wrong with you. If that didn't help, and we actually did surgery, we had herbs to actually help you heal. And if you had pain, we'd give you white willow bark. You guys know it as aspirin. We also have access to cannabis and ether and laudanum, which is an opium for pain. Any questions?
Isn't that pretty flammable and dangerous?
Yes, it is. It would actually be some sort of funneling device would be put over this part of your face. The ether would be slowly tapped into it. It's flammable and very volatile. And I do mean slowly, because if you pour too fast, you will actually choke the person. You'll starve them of oxygen.
I mean, obviously the liquid did something, but it was mostly the gas that came off the liquid that did what you were wanting.
Actually, what you were doing is you're pouring the gas into the funnel.
So if you had to cut into somebody, how'd you stop the bleeding?
Okay, after, okay, If it is a major bleeder and I need to stop it before anything, I'd use a cauterization tool. But if it was just a cut, somebody just had a cut, first thing I'd go for is spider webs. Okay? We're using spider webs centuries before you guys are using the proteins of spider webs as coagulants. So we're doing that in the 18th century. You guys in the 21st century are using bits of this to actually control bleeding. Now, run out of spider web pretty quickly. I do have two alternatives, again, free stuff that I can get. What does it say?
Goat wool. Animal.
Yes. Actually, any type of wool, could be sheep or goat wool, as long as it is rinsed, not washed. If it was washed, that means it has actually been boiled, and you've killed all the proteins on these on the fur. Rinsed just means I'm getting all the dirt and bad stuff out of it, and then boil it. So this has minor coagulating properties, but lots of surface area for your blood to clot on. The next I would use is this. What do you think that is? Huh? No, it's not rope.
Human hair?
It's not human hair at all. And it's not animal. Have you ever heard of linen?
Yeah.
Okay, this is flax. This is what linen is made from. I can buy 100 pounds of this for one bolt of this. Economics comes in now. I can do a lot of stuff with 100 pounds of linen, flax, inside of the body for stopping bleeding. This gives a really lot of surface area for the blood to clot on, but nothing to cause the blood to clot. Now, what does that look like it is? Gauze, exactly. We had linen and cotton gauze in that time. This is more expensive than fabric. We didn't use this very often unless we knew we needed to keep a wound specifically closed for a long time. Now, if I could not control the bleeding in any of that part, then I go to this. This is called a cauterization tool. Heat up the tip of it and then touch the bleeders. Now, if I touch the bleeder on that point, how much do you think I'm actually going to burn? Twice the width of the tip will be the burn. That's a hot piece of metal. It still radiates heat out quite a ways a distance. So, if I want to really control how much I'm doing, I'd use the contents of this. This is black powder. I can put as little or as many grains of black powder on where I need to do it and touch off the black powder and instantly cauterize the wound. That will only burn where I put it. Nothing around the edges. So I actually control the cauterization much better with black powder than I can with that cauterization tool. Any other questions?
What's the beeswax for?
Beeswax is for when I make pills, tinctures, or teas, single dose tinctures or teas. So what I would do is I'd put the material that I want in the tea or tincture or pill, drip a little bit of beeswax on it, wait for it to cool a little bit, and then rub it into a pill shape. Now I have a single dose for that. And tinctures are made from vinegar or oil. To dissolve the in vinegar or oil, you just heat up the vinegar or oil a little bit, and the beeswax will melt into it. And beeswax is not. Is very neutral in the body, so you can actually eat it without any problem.
But, yeah, but I could do it over there.